I guess I just feel like each time I post, I get a little closer to myself or what I'm meant to be or meant to do. Like I'm hiding less and less. I've just always wanted to help people and be there for people. Just the problem I run into is like when people use me and take advantage of me. So just been taking a lot of time to myself to like get clear about what I want and like boundaries and how I'm gonna treat people now and expect them to treat me, which has not really changed my overall character. It's just being more concerned about myself than them, which is important for empath people to do. So it's like the standard advice doesn't really fit with someone who already cares about everybody. You have to kind of reel it in back to yourself. So I'm just like, well, I think I mentioned this in another video, but I've been like cracking the shells of energy I have around people who I wish cared about me and treated me well, and like reclaiming it back to myself because it's mine, even if it's like wanting or hatred or feeling validated, like they're my emotions. So if I can just kind of take them in and take responsibility for them, really no one has anything to do with my emotions. They may like invoke certain emotions within me, but like the things I experience are my responsibility, and I wouldn't want them to be different. I just want to be able to like transmute them and use them fully to my benefit. I'm not angry at myself for being tough or not tough in certain situations or being sensitive or something. I just want to use my energy for myself and not keep giving it away to others. And that's something I naturally do, is just give it away. So there's probably a way to like hold presence for myself and also for the other people that I want to help. And I guess that comes from a less like needy place than I have come from in the past. But just maybe a place of like, I know who I am, maybe I can help you know who you are. Like a spirit of service rather than like trying to draw people in to care about you in a way that they can't. I just think I was always meant to care about me in the way I wanted other people to. I'm never going to find that person who's going to care about me more than myself. I thought I could, but I've just run through too many people to know that that's not the case. So it's back on me, man. If I want to be happy, it's back on me. That's okay. With God's help, I'll get out of this like victim mentality. And I'm not placing blame on victims or even myself for like being in a place where I was holding other people responsible for my emotions. I've come to this realization before, maybe once in my early 20s. It's just I wasn't able to shift it at that point. I have more belief in myself now and more power. I've been through more things that have shown me that I'm going to be okay no matter what. Because of my strength that was given to me by God, which I believe we all have. And the way I grew up, I had to tap into these things to survive, like kind of like a David Goggins guy. I had to go when I didn't know if there'd ever be an end to the suffering. It's just like, if that's like emotional suffering. And I was coping with it through physical ways and like taking massive action in my life. It's just, it was coming from a place of exhaustion. So I think my life is not under my control in the sense that God and circumstance, the outer things aren't necessarily within my realm. I can only like really control the inner things. So like even if my life isn't exactly what I want it to be, I can imagine that those things are, and I can appreciate what I currently have, which is so much. I mean, whoever told us it wasn't enough to have enough to eat and have a place to live? We should all who have these gifts, or even get to like breathe in the morning, like that's enough if you're homeless, and I've been homeless. But life is always precious, and I think that's what I'm getting at here. And I guess I lost track of that a long time ago. Waking up too many days depressed. I'd bring the light I had to work, and then I'd want to come home and like roll up in a ball. But the person I was with for many years wouldn't let me rest or go like as deep dark as I needed to. He would just kind of always stop me. And to me, I had to go to those deep dark places just to like even have the ability to understand myself. Because when you get there like in the darkness, like you realize it's not as dark as you thought. But I was stopped from like going on my own journey by him, and that's when I developed ulcerative colitis, which I was reading in some book about ethereal things. The emotion of like ulcerative colitis is stuck, which so that's like how it could be created in your body, is a feeling of being stuck, which I'd like to hear if like other people with ulcerative colitis have experienced this being the precipitating emotion or experience that led to it. Besides children, that might be a little different, but been like learning how to heal myself, just listening to my body and movement. Over the years, my body became less capable of movement. That's been one of the hardest things I've had to deal with. It's just hard waking up and not knowing what you can do, because you know your time out of bed is limited. And I'm getting back to some sort of point where I feel like maybe I have an hour and a half of leeway where I don't have to be in bed. Like say I wanted to go get groceries. That was pretty horrible a couple weeks ago, but it's getting better now. I went to the doctor and got prednisone. I don't know if he gave me enough though. Makes you feel kind of helpless. No, I don't want to be helpless. So I'm doing my best to take my health into my own hands. Which I have been for a long time now. Trying to pay attention to my genuine hunger cues and not eat too much, which I don't always succeed at, but for the most part I do pretty well. It's usually like emotional eating, or like I'll eat something that really didn't agree with my stomach, and then I'll eat something else that's still not agreeing with my stomach, but it's a little better. Just because the initial pain in my stomach is so bad and I'm trying to overrun it somehow instead of just wait it out. Maybe that is kind of the right answer. I don't know. But I feel like God's been helping me lately out of the misery of my health issues and giving me like hope and light and a clear vision that things will change and can. When I started on this kind of recent prayer journey, I was listening to something and the person was like, test if it was something on Instagram, ask for healing or whatever and see if you find proof. And so like I asked God for healing, and then my right arm started tingling and I felt literal light in it. So like I can't deny that God exists and that I'm with God and part of God. And that's pretty like holy and cool. I'm just doing my best to treat myself well, even if I don't make all the right decisions in a day. How many of us do or can? I mean, we all look back and we're like, well, that could have been handled a little better. I feel like I've been staring at this phone too much, but I've been doing more spiritual work than I've ever done, so can't I just give myself credit for that? Maybe I should ask God for help with that. Because being hard on myself has never really motivated me to do anything, and over time it took away so much energy from me. That probably also contributed to the ulcerative colitis and nerve pain, back pain, muscle pain. That's why I had to give up my son because my body was in so much pain. So, and I got plenty of signs from God during that period that I was supposed to let him go. Doesn't mean I don't miss him though. It's a little different than when my father passed, because I always like still feel like my father's here, and the memories I have with him are so vivid that I scarcely believe he's dead. And my son's not dead, but I don't know why it's so much harder. I guess the memories I have with him, they're more about joy and love. Maybe your parents are supposed to stick with you in a different way than your kids. I just wish the memories were like as vivid as they are about my dad. But I'm just so sad, and I miss my son so much. And I just don't know if it's ever gonna be okay. But I made it a closed adoption, and I know I did the right thing. I'd been through so much pain with him that I knew I would like break down every time I saw him if I was still communicating. And just remember this like pain that I couldn't forget, which is like, he's my son, but I can't keep him, which I knew from like when he was months old that I was gonna lose him. I didn't know how. I ended up just like trying so hard to heal myself and be different and be a good mom, but I was so
upset all the time, and my life just was not anything like I wanted it to be. I had like taken a turn for not the worst, but I'd gone like against my intuition, and that's how I'd gotten pregnant with him. And he's fucking beautiful, and it's just like I wasn't abandoned by the universe or anything, which is kind of what I was testing. Like, do I always have to do the fucking right thing? No, I don't, but definitely created a major shift in my life that I did that. And it's okay. I've come around to knowing myself better. I'm just still trying to like forgive myself for that event. One sec. And I had this dream once where I think God was trying to talk to me about how it wasn't that big of a deal. All of it really like diverting my life and how my son did was help me understand grief and relate more to people who have grief. So it made me more able to deal with the community better than I would have otherwise been able. You know? In all my dreams, I'm kind of a magical creature. I'm still usually a human being, but I usually fly. And I usually, like, get away from whatever enemy seems to be leading everyone else astray. And somehow, like, I get out or find the secret passageway. Or win the war. One time I felt like I created the war. There was like all these warring, like, planets, and I felt like I had created the war. Because I could just see that all it really was different perspectives, and I had put mine above the rest. Not that much, but. Oh, and literally in this dream, there was like a devil creature chasing me and whipping me, and I could feel the sting on my back. I had to wake up because it hurt so bad. Guess I needed God's help.